guys, it's Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. Want to sound American? You can do it. speechmodification.com. Well, we're having our live Friday Q&A, and I'm here to take your questions about American accent training, about pronunciation, American English, anything that comes to mind for you, questions that you have about your speech or about how to change your accent. So I'm excited to see you today and take your questions. I also want to talk today about an exciting thing I have on my website for you, which is a free American accent screening. So you can go to my website and find out more about your personal speech. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. I'm also going to be giving you some quick tips for your American accent, how to improve, things you can use right away. I also want to mention that coming up in a couple weeks on October the 29th, I'll be holding a live free American accent class in person. So if you're in the greater Seattle area, consider checking it out. You can find a link to that on my website, and I'll put it in the description below. But that'll be held in Issaquah at the Issaquah Library on Sunday afternoon, October the 29th. So maybe I'll get to meet some of you in person. So today, as I mentioned, I want to tell you all about my free speech screening that you'll find on my website. And you may find that you are already aware of some of the aspects of your accent, what you need help with, what you have difficulty pronouncing, but you may not be aware overall of what you're doing in your speech that is different than standard American English. And part of why this is the case is that when you have an accent, it affects how you hear English as well as how you speak English. So everything that you're hearing that Americans are saying is coming to you and getting filtered through your accent, through your sound system in your brain. And so you may not hear the differences, and that's totally normal, but it is something that you can change. And why would you want to change it? Well, some of the time you don't, it doesn't matter, and some of the time there are elements of your accent that make it hard for people to understand you. You might find that when you're talking on the phone in particular, or with someone who doesn't know you very well, you can tell that they haven't understood. They might ask you to repeat yourself. That can get very frustrating. So one of the biggest things that you can do to improve your accent is to find out what it is that you're doing and to help change that filter so you can hear the differences in your own accent. So a good step to that is to get some feedback, and you can do that for free, absolutely free, on my website. And I have a video that I just posted a few minutes ago, and you'll find it on my channel page, that explains exactly how to go do the screening, all of the steps that you need to do. You can also send me an email or go to my website, and there's a place that you can upload your recording. So if you have made a recording of yourself, it's pretty easy to do on your phone, and you want some feedback on that, send me the recording. I'll listen to it and I'll tell you exactly what I'm hearing in your speech. So even just doing the recording for yourself can give you some useful information about your accent. You might find out, oh, I didn't realize, if you're listening to the recording, that I sounded like that. So the link for my website will be in the corner, and as I said, in the description below, I'll give you the specific link for the screening. You can just go, when you get to the website, you go to the free resources, and that's where you'll find my blog, my free screening, and my free practice. And some of you have already been there, you've used some of the materials, checked out the videos on there. It's a very helpful resource for American accent training. And when you get there, what will it look like? Basically, it's a list of words, and you take those words, I ask you to make up your own sentence with the word, so you can kind of review it for a little while before you make the recording. You can make the recording right there on the website if you're using your laptop or your desktop computer. It uses Flash, and then creates the recording and sends it to me. But it doesn't matter how you create the recording. As I said before, a lot of times it's easiest to just make a recording on your phone and then send it to me on email. Or if it's a really big recording, you can upload it. There's a spot on my website for that. So I hope you take advantage of that resource and get some information on your speech that'll help you use my videos more usefully for you, you can go into the playlists and find exactly the patterns I described to you when I tell you about your screening results and work on those particular things. All right, so no questions so far today. So I'm going to go right ahead and get into our quick tip for today. So today I wanted to talk about something that I notice a lot in many of my clients' speech, and this is saying the word no. So the word no is very easy, simple to pronounce. Most languages have an N sound, most languages have an O sound. A lot of times the word no is the same word in another language, but there's something that Americans do that you might not be doing that you should know about. And that's when we say the word no, we use a really long O sound. We actually kind of do more than one vowel. We say no, no. We close off, no. So that sounded strange the way I just said it. But basically, if you say no with a pure O that you might have in your language, just like this, no, no, it sounds really short and almost rude to the American listener. So you might feel like sometimes if you say no about something, you get a strange look, or people, you've gotten feedback or comments that maybe you can be a little brusque or a little abrupt. Try lengthening out your no when you're answering a question. No. It sounds a little more polite, a little more gentle, and it just does sound like standard, typical American. The other thing to be thinking about when you're talking about the word no is that sometimes it's very simple, straightforward. We just say no. That's all we need to say. That's just the answer. And that's a very direct response. Now, sometimes in American culture, we tend to use more of an indirect response. So we might say, use some different words. And even if you want to be direct and just say no, you can be a little more polite than just saying the word no. So some direct but polite ways to say no would be to say, no, thank you, or no, I don't think so. It kind of just softens your no a little bit, along with doing a nice long no. No, no, thank you. No, I don't think so. It sounds a little bit more polite and less rude or less abrupt. There's also ways to say no more indirectly, and this is maybe something you might want to use when you need to be additionally formal, you need to worry about someone's feelings, or you're saying no to someone who is your superior at work or in your organization. It's helpful to have a few other options for saying no, and some of the indirect ways to say no are to say things like maybe not, or I think not, or not at the moment. Those basically all mean no and will be interpreted as no by the person you're talking to, but they're more indirect and appropriate for certain social situations. I do have a video about direct and indirect language and how to use it, and you can also find resources for that on my website, on my free online practice. So check that out, and just remember when you're saying the word no, hold it a little longer and you might get a smile response instead of a frown from whoever you're talking to. Okay, so that's what I wanted to cover today. I wanted to tell you about my free screening and the quick tip on saying the American word no. I wanted to remind you I will be hosting another live question and answer next Friday, so you can join me then. And of course, you can always ask your questions, make requests, comments in the comments of this video or any of my videos that you see. So go to my channel, subscribe to get the latest videos and updates, and take advantage of the resources I have available for you. So thanks for being here today, and just a reminder, if you want to sound American, you can do it. SpeechModification.com.